excuse me. Oh, aye, up this way. She's out, I think. I seen her going. Oh, you've something for her? You're from Arnott's, I see. You've a parcel for her? Righto, I'll take it. I'll give it to her the minute she comes in. Oh, sign that? Excuse me. Where? Here? No, there. Righto. I wonder what's this now? Ah, hat. God, she's gone to the devil lately for style. That hat now costs more than a penny. Such notions of operacy she's getting. Oh, swank, what?
She's a pretty little Judy all the same.
Ah, she is, and she isn't. There's prettiness and prettiness in it. I'm always saying that her skirts are a little too short for a married woman, and to see her sometimes of an evening in her glad net gown would make a body's blood run cold. I do be ashamed of my life before her husband, and the way she tries to be polite with her "Good morning, Mrs. Gogan," when she's coming down, and her "Good evening, Mrs. Gogan," when she's coming up. But there's politeness and politeness in it.
They seem to get on well together all the same.
Ah, they do, and they don't. They used to be like two turtle doves, always billing and cooing. You couldn't come into the room, but you feel instinctive-like that they'd just been after kissing and cuddling each other. It often made me shiver, for after all, there's kissing and cuddling in it. But I'm thinking he's beginning to take things more quietly. The mystery of having a woman's a mystery no longer. Oh, she dresses herself to keep him with her. But it's no use. After a month or two, the wonder of a woman wears that.
I dunno. Not wishing to say anything derogatory, but I think it's all a question of location. When a man finds the wonder of a woman beginning to die, it's usually beginning to live in another.
She's always grumbling about having to live in a tenement house. I wouldn't like to spend my last hour in one, let alone live my life in a tenement, says she. Vaults, says she, that are hiding the dead instead of homes that are sheltering the living. Many a good one, says I, was reared in a tenement house. Oh, you know, she's a well-up little lassie too, able to make a shilling go where another would have to spend £1. She's wiping the eyes of the covey and poor old Peter. Everybody knows that. Screwing every penny she can out of them in order to turn the place into a babby house. And she has the life frightened out of them, washing their face, combing their hair, wiping their feet, brushing their clothes, trimming their nails, cleaning their teeth. God almighty, you think the poor men were undergoing penal servitude?
Ah, that's going beyond the beyonds in a tenement house. That's a little bit too derogatory.
Well, God almighty, give me patience.
I wonder what he's foostering for now.
He's adorned himself for the meeting tonight. Great demonstration and torchlight procession around places in the city sacred to the memory of Irish patriots. To be concluded be the meeting, at which will be taken an oath of fealty to the Irish Republic. Formation in Parallel Square at 8 o'clock. Well, they can hold it for Fluter. I'm up the pole. No more drink for Fluter. It's 3 days since I've touched a drop, and I feel a new man already.
Isn't old Peter a funny-looking little man? Like something you'd pick off a Christmas tree. When he's dressed up in his canonicals, you'd wonder where he'd been got. God forgive me when I see him in them. I always think he must have had a Mormon for a father. He and the Covey can't abide each other. They're always at it trying to best each other. There'll be blood drawn one of these days.
How is it that Clitheroe himself now has nothing to do with the Citizen Army? A couple of months ago, and you'd hardly ever see him without his gun or the red-handed Liberty Hall in his hat.
Just because he wasn't made a captain. He wasn't going to be in anything where he couldn't be conspicuous. He was so captured being maiden that he bought himself a Sam Brown belt and was always putting it on and standing at the door showing it off till the men came and put out the street lamp on him. God, I think he used to bring it to bed with him. But I'm telling you, herself was delighted that that cock didn't crow, for she's like a clocking hen if he leaves her sight for a minute. Be the look of it. This must have been a generous sword. All the gold lace and the fine figueres. Sure, it's twice too big for him.
Sure, it's a baby's rattle he ought to have. And he has his, with thoughts tossing in his head of what'll happen to him on the day of judgment.
Oh, excuse me. Isn't he the surly old rascal?
Take no notice of him. You'd think he was dumb. But when you get in his goat, or he has a few jars up, He's vice versa.
Oh, you've a cold, Johnny Fluter.
It's only a little one.
You'd want to be careful all the same. I knew a woman, a big lump of a woman, red-faced and round-bodied, a little awkward on her feet. You'd think to look at her, she could put out her 2 arms and lift a 2-storied house on the top of her head. Got a tickle in her throat and a little cough, and the next morning a little catch in her chest. And they had just enough time to wet her lips with the little rum, and off she went.
It's only a cold I have. There's nothing derogatory wrong with me.
I don't know. There's many a man this minute, lowering a pint, thinking of a woman, or picking out a winner, or doing work as you're doing, while the hearse, drawn by the horses with the black plumes, is driving up to his own hall door, and a voice that he doesn't hear is muttering in his ear, earth to earth, and ashes to ashes, and dust to dust.
A man in the peak of health should have the holy horror of allowing thoughts of death to be festering in his mind. For God, I think I'm after getting a little catch in my chest that time. It's a creepy thing to be thinking about.
It is, and it isn't. It's both bad and good. It always gives myself a kind of trespassing joy to feel myself moving along in a morning coach.
And a curious kind of gasping for breath. I hope there's nothing derogatory wrong with me.
Frills on it, like a woman's petticoat.
Suddenly getting hot, and then just as suddenly getting cold.
How would you like to be wearing this Lord Mayor's night dress, Luther?
Blast you in a nightshirt! Is that meant for meeting with fear to stick their showing off the hill, or something that looks like a shining shroud?
Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
Well, God almighty, give me patience.
What's the men repairing the streets cheering for?
You can't sneeze, and that old one wants to know the why and the wherefore. Oh God, I feel as dizzy as be damned. I hope I didn't go up the beer too suddenly.
What's after happening, Colby?
The job stopped. They've been mobilised to march in the demonstration tonight under the Plough and the Stars. Didn't you hear them cheering, them mugs? They have to renew their political baptismal vows to be faithful in seculorum.
There's no reason to bring religion into it. I think we ought to have as great a regard for religion as we can, so as to keep it out of as many things as possible.
You're one of the boys who climbs into religion as high as a short mass on a Sunday morning. I suppose you'll be singing songs of Zion and songs of Tara at the meeting too.
We're all Irishmen anyhow, aren't we?
Look here, comrade. There's no such thing as an Irishman or an Englishman or a German or a Turk. We're all only human beings. Scientifically speaking, it's all a question of the accidental gathering together of molecules and atoms.
Molecules and atoms? Do you think I'm going to listen to you trying to juggle Fluter's mind with complicated conundrums of molecules and atoms?
There's nothing complicated in it. There's no fear of the church telling you that molecules is the sticking together of millions of atoms, of sodium, carbon, potassium, of iodide, etc. And that according to the way they're mixed, make a flower, a fish, a star you see shining in the sky, a man with a big brain like me, or a man with a little brain like you.
There's no necessity to be raising your voice. Shouting's no manifesting forth of a growing mind.
God, give me patience with this thing. She makes these collars as stiff with starch as a shining band of solid steel. She does it purposely to try to twat me. If I can't get it in the singlet, how in the name of God am I going to get it in the shirt?
There's no use arguing with you. It's education you want, comrade.
The Covey and God made the world, I suppose, huh?
When I hear some men talking, I'm inclined to disbelieve that the world is 800 million years old. For it's not long since the fathers of some of them crawled out of the sheltering slime of the sea.
They're after farming fours, and now they're going to march away.
Molecules. What about Adam and Eve?
Well, what about them?
What about them, you?
Adam and Eve. Is that as far as you got? Still thinking that there was nobody in the world before Adam and Eve? Did you ever hear, man, of the skeleton of the man of Java?
Blasted, blasted, blasted!
You are not going to be let tap your rubberjet thoughts into the mind of Fluter.
You're afraid to listen to the truth.
Who's afraid?
You are.
Go in your world.
Who's a world?
You are, and you wouldn't talk the way you're talking.
The old ignorant savage leaping up in you when science shows you that the head of your God is an empty one. Well, I hope you're enjoying the blessing of having to live by the sweat of your brow.
You will be kicking and yelling for the priest, gently boy up, because I'm not going to stand silent and simple, listening to a tick like you, making a maddening mockery of God Almighty. It'll be a nice derogatory thing in me conscience and me dying to look back and remember in shame of talking to little word-weaving, little ignorant yahoo of a red flag socialist.
For God's sake, Luther, drop it. There's always the makings of a row in the mention of religion. God bless us. It's a naked woman.
What's under it? Georgina the Sleeping Venus. God, that's a terrible picture. That's a shocking picture. The one that got that taken, she must have been a prime lassie. What are you hee-heeing at? That's a nice thing to be hee-heeing at. Where's our morality, man?
God forgive us. It's not right to be looking at us.
It's nearly derogatory thing to be in the room where it is.
I couldn't stop any longer in the same room with 3 men after looking at us.
What are you trying then? You trying to twat and torment me again?
Who's trying to twat you?
You're not going to make me lose my temper, me Uncle Covey.
If you're not as pet as self, you're not going to get your own way in everything.
I'll say nothing. I'll leave you to the day when that pitiful and merciful God will be handing you to the angels, reaving and roasting you, tearing, tormenting you, burning and blasting you.
And you, the little malignant old bastard, you lemon-whiskered old swine! Flouter, hold him there! It's a nice thing to have a lunatic like this flashing around with a lethal weapon.
Let me out! Let me out! It's a poor thing for a man who wouldn't say a word against his greatest enemy to have to listen to that Covey's wanton animosities, shoving poor patient people into the lashing out of curses, that are darkening his soul and the shadow on the wrath of the last day.
Why do you take notice of him? If he seen you didn't, he'd say nothing derogatory.
I'd make him stop his laughing and leering, jibing and jeering and